Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Justin, aka Retro J, coming at you with another fantastic episode of Retro Pioneers Podcast. Man, I'm honored to have this special guest today. He's a retro fanatic. He's a competitor when it comes down to competitive games. He's everything and more. But I'm gonna let him tell you a little bit more about himself. Welcome today, Mr. Back in the Game Retro. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good, Retro J. How about yourself, man? Thanks for having me
Oh
on, bro.
man, I'm doing quite well, and it's anytime, man. Anytime. It's just I love fellowshipping with fellow gamers, man. And you definitely one that I've been waiting to touch bases with. So tell the people a little something about you so that they don't already know.
Yeah, for sure. First and foremost, I love retro video gaming. I grew up playing it super quick, early 90s, late 80s. I love retro gaming. I just recently got into competitive gaming. Ironically, I'm wearing my first competitive gamer shirt. You know what I mean? It just, unique dimension, whatever that right word. I'm just appreciative. I'm a retro gamer, a professional producer, and full-time musician and streamer. So we do a lot over here. So thank you. Thank you again for having me.
No problem at all, man. Like I said, it's the podcast mostly about, man, fellowshipping with fellow gamers or fellow movie enthusiasts and anime lovers and cosplay and everything and whatnot. But it's always a pleasure to get a fellow retro lover on the channel because it allows me to kind of nerd out a little bit. So,
Of course.
man, look, I want to get right into it because I know you're a retro head. So, what was your first system?
My first system was actually the Nintendo Entertainment System was my first system. My mom was a Sega mom, so she had Sega. She had Sega Genesis, and I had the Nintendo Entertainment System. So
Okay.
it was the battle of the consoles in the house. So it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Oh man, W Moms for being on the best side.
Genesis does, yes, sir.
Look, man, look. Yeah, Genesis does with Nintendo though. But look, we ain't gonna go there though. What was some of the games you enjoyed on the NES?
Mega Man. I'm a huge Mega Man fan. I have pretty much
Okay.
the whole collection. Mega Man, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, a Rad Racer would be another one. A funny gem, and it's only because my mom played this game, but Win, Lose, or Draw. It's kind of a game to most people to be like on the low tier list, but Win, Lose, or
Yeah.
Draw. And as a wild card, I would probably say Simon's Quest, Castlevania 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not give that game credit.
No, they hate on it a lot. I get a lot of hate when I play it. Oh, that's the worst one. I disagree,
Nah, man,
though.
I done seen some bad games, and that definitely not one of them, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But since you was a Nintendo kid, right? Was you able to dabble kind of into the Genesis while your mom had it?
Now, yes, and here's the caveat on why I had the cheat code. So we were one of the poorest people on the street. My upbringing was hand to mouth, like respectfully, food stamps with the paper.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yep.
But my mom worked at Major Video. That's before it became Blockbuster.
Mm.
So when they would have games that would come out, even consoles, before we ever had consoles, they had this like briefcase, like I don't even know what you would call it. It's like fireproof, theft-proof case. And she would bring it's like a briefcase and it had the console, and then she'd just bring a stack of games for the night or for a couple days. So that's how I got to play Genesis games like Sonic 2. They even had a Blockbuster championship games back then. Like it had like NBA Jam. I don't remember what games were on it. Forgive me
Clay
for that.
Fighter?
Yeah, Clay Fighter. And then on the SNES side of things, when they had like the Final Fight, the Guy version, which was a Japanese only release, but they had them in Blockbuster and so on and so forth. So that was my that was the cheat code for me. I was blessed. I lucked out with that.
Man,
We were poor,
look,
but we were rich poor in a way, you know?
but that's the best kind though,
Yeah,
because it's in a way it kind of gives you that feel of I don't take nothing for granted.
absolutely. Absolutely.
You right? Because I also was that same kid who was unfortunate, wasn't lucky to get the new games when everybody else had them, but I was able to get me a Genesis, and by me having that Genesis, we couldn't afford to get me a game every now and then. So the Genesis that my mom and my dad bought me was the one that came with the not for resale Sonic 1.
Yep.
And I played that game so damn much, man, to the point where I know every ins and out to Sonic 1. And the crazy part is I recently just found something else out with Sonic 1 that I want to kind of touch base with you a little later.
Okay.
But when I was able to get a whole going to these blockbusters and it was another one that Hollywood
Hollywood
videos
Video.
and stuff like that, man. I rented so many Sega games and I ran into some dope classics, man. So with that, what was some of the best games on Sega for you?
Number one is another obscure game, and it's because my mom, she played pool. So Minnesota Fats Pool. I actually just finally found it, which is actually Side Pocket, but it's just a better version. Man, if the people out there haven't played Side Pocket or Minnesota Fats Pool, the soundtrack is smooth. Like
Mm.
before lo-fi, that smooth jazz, it made you want to like put on a suit and play the game. You know, like it just made you feel like you're doing something. So Minnesota
Right?
Fats Pool, Sonic 2, because Tails I thought was a cool addition. And now people are gonna hate on this one too, Pit Fighter. And it's only because I played that in the arcade first. And it was
Yeah.
just such a weird, clunky, very good fighter. I liked it because of its obscurity. Clax is another one. Buster
Okay.
Douglas boxing was cool because that's after the height of Mike Tyson took his L and he was
Mm.
unfortunately on his downside. So Buster Douglas came up. It was a decent boxing game, and probably Gunstar Heroes as a draft pick. Some fun
Love it.
games.
Love it. Look, I just recently just beat it again. So one thing I want to throw out there to all my retro gaming lovers is I was a huge dude on Xbox, right?
Okay. Yeah,
And I love achievements like crazy,
I hear
right?
you on that.
So now they created a way where you can get retro gaming achievements,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So I recently just played through GameStar Heroes and I only have one achievement level before I complete it, like 100%.
Well, GG on that. I haven't got on that game. That one I just haven't quite figured out yet. I'll keep it real with you on that.
Look, man, it's dope, bro. I'm like, it was a nice game then, but as me playing it as an adult now, man, I didn't give it as much as a credit that I could have because it's actually a fun shoot 'em up game.
Yeah,
It's difficult at times, but it's one of them type of games where it makes you frustrated, but it still allows you to come back to it and be like, I'm going to beat this,
I agree.
So I definitely, hey, definitely. I love that.
Yeah,
But
GG's on that.
so one thing I always wanted to let folks know about the Genesis when it come down to fighting games, because I'm a huge fighter, right?
Same. Yeah.
I love Eternal is it Eternal Champions? Have you ever
Yeah.
played that game?
Yeah.
Look, when I first played that game, man, I was like, this is very wonky.
The characters are like this big.
Yes, the wizard hold a stick and do a side kick, and I'm like, what is this? But playing it, like actually giving it a chance and playing through it, is very nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
So what would be some killer fighting games for you on these systems?
So for Genesis, I'm a huge Street Fighter fan, but there's a difference in the gameplay, right? So like when you have a SNES port or a Genesis port, there's always something different. I feel like Genesis got that one right. I would say Mortal Kombat because they had the blood. That's how I feel like they won back then. For the cats out there that might be a little older, SNES was still trying to be family friendly, so they didn't really have like blood. Even
Yeah,
on
they took it out.
games like beat 'em ups like Final Fight, which is one of my favorite arcade games, which was originally the Street Fighter sequel for those who don't know. They even switched characters because it was too risky. If you know, you know. There's some character changes in that game, and there's no blood. So I would say Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter Champion Edition, Eternal Champions. Man, what was this random game I just played the other day? Can't think. I like boxing games
Did
too.
did you get kind of into Virtual Fighter?
No, I didn't. And I think it was because I was late and I'd already played because Virtual Fighter laid it out for like Tekken. I'm a huge Tekken fan. A lot of people think Tekken came first, but actually Virtual Fighter came first. So I was late. I got to when I finally had maybe a little bit of change to be able to play that game because it wasn't cheap. That game wasn't cheap. Neither was Virtual Racing.
Mm.
I played Tekken in the arcade, so I kind of went backwards, right? So some of my friends had a Virtual Fighter on the Sega Genesis, but that came later. So I'm a little partial to it. Obviously, I like Tekken more. They master the controls a little bit, but that's a good
Mm.
one. I would have to say those are probably some of my favorite fighting games. I feel like a lot of sports games were bangers on Sega first,
Yes,
which are
yes,
some of
it
my favorites.
was. Yes, Bulls versus what's the other? I can't remember the name.
Man,
It was Bulls versus something. That was a banger. And then you got your NBA jams.
oh yeah, NBA Jam, of course.
One thing I hated for as far as the Sega Genesis side, I hated hang time on a
Okay,
Genesis.
I
I
didn't play it
loved
on
it on a Super
Genesis.
Nintendo.
Yeah, that's where I played it. I didn't play the Genesis version, I don't think.
Yeah, I hated it on Genesis. It
Why
felt
is
like it
that?
was glitchy and stuff. Like it wasn't a done right port
Yeah,
like
that's
it was
understandable.
on Super Nintendo. That's just like Pac-Man, for example. Pac-Man
Yeah,
wasn't good on Genesis, but it was great on Super Nintendo.
I
Like
agree.
especially Mrs. Pac-Man.
Yeah, I have some of those games too. Like, I hear you on that.
Look, man, for real, man, because a lot of things that I kind of dealt with as far as not as a like personal standpoint, but
Yeah,
far as debates when it come down to which console reigns superior
yeah.
from Sega and Super Nintendo. Like, and I always kind of steered towards yes, Sega was great for what it was, but I have to get it to Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Only and this is a hard pill to swallow, especially for me only because Nintendo had a whole lot of bangers when it come down to your Super Mario Bros. Like that All Star collection, and
Yeah.
then you also had the RPG Mario game.
Yep.
So, and not to mention, you had your Mega Man, your Super Punch Out, and just the super aspect of some of these games, like Super Ghosts and Goblins, and just so. What would be some of your dope games that you enjoyed on the NES?
Street Fighter for sure. That was like
Which one?
I would say World Warrior and Turbo. Those are still both of
Mm,
my favorite games. New Challengers was cool and going forward Alpha and stuff, but those two games still I have them all, like the hard copies behind me of most of these games. And so World Warrior, because that was my first, honestly, my first love as far as fighting games. That was the first arcade I learned how to play. Then Turbo, because it was like a little bit faster, a little bit better, character wise. Star Fox, obviously. Star Fox is another one. Super Mario World was also one of my favorites. I'm literally gonna have to look behind me just to make sure I'm correct. Final Fight. Final Fight is another one. Mega Man X, Super Mario Kart, and Mario Paint. Mario Paint. Check this out. I'm gonna show you something really quick. Let me
okay,
show you this real fast. So I got one still in the box right here. So
man, that's the
it's
Mario Paint, right?
complete in the box. So I ended up grabbing this not too long ago.
Yo,
So yeah, it's complete in the box with the mouse. It's a little beat up here and there, but man, this brings back childhood because I
yes.
actually got this in the SNES pack-in for Christmas. That's a whole nother story, but my mom played this funny trick on me. But yeah,
So I ran to. So what got me to know about that game right there, right? I was able to get the combo edition of Dr. Mario and Mario Paint.
okay, okay.
And when I tell you I cannot think of where I put that game, I think my cousin stole it from me, so he gonna have to give it back. But I love playing Mario Paint, man. And then when it came down to Dr. Mario and all that, those were some heavy hitters
Yeah, there's
for
some good
it being
games.
on a Super Nintendo, man. So that shows you right there. Nintendo was always ahead of their time when it came down to their IPs.
Of
So,
course.
what, as you've been a retro enthusiast, right?
Yeah.
What was some of the things you saw that was ahead of its time then that will kind of like stand out now?
I would say the first one I would say is probably Star Fox because that's when they came out with that Super FX chip. They had Star Fox and that stunt race game where they look like little 3D claymation looking trucks and cars. There was only 3 games with that chip, and I can't think of the other one. It's not Clay Fighters. They would kind of fall in that realm at the time. But what else? Even Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World 2 because it was just the sprites and what they did for that time way back then was the furthest thing that you would see, like 2D polygons on 3D platforming levels or vice versa. like maxing out the hardware on the SNES. I would say those really blew me away. Because after that, I couldn't afford those 32-bit and systems, so I kind of got skipped the Sega CDs, the Sega Saturns, the 32Xs. There were there. I remember faintly when the Sega CD came out and Ice Cube did a commercial for it, and I remember seeing. I was like, "Oh, I gotta get it," because I'm from the West Coast. So when I saw that, I'm like, "Cube, oh man, I gotta get it, mom!" And it was like I think $6.99 MSRP, 700
Mm.
bucks. I'm like, "Yeah, I knew not even to ask for that." You know what I mean? Like, we're not getting that. 199 bucks. Like, yeah, okay, we got lucky.
Man, I mean, because if you kind of think about it, especially for how easy access these games are now,
Oh
right?
man, yeah,
Thinking about it, how we're now paying that amount for a modern system, and this was just attachments
right.
to, like Genesis, the Sega CD, the 32X. These was attachments to that Genesis,
Yeah,
and you're talking about $800.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, anything past that, I would just say mom's quote, whatever that could be, to all the moms out there, it's a no. It's a no straight up. Like, or when they find out that everything's not Nintendo, that was like
yeah.
every other mom was like, "Oh, you already have a Nintendo." It's like, "That's not a Nintendo. This is a Sega, or that's an Atari, or whatever."
You're getting it twisted, mom.
Yeah, everything was a Nintendo to everybody's parents.
Look, man, look, I'm glad to hear your love for retro and gaming. And what got you back in the game retro, right? What got you to the point where you're loving retro gaming, but you want to turn this into content? What made that decision for you?
COVID, so 2020, basically, or for the folks out there listening, I'm a professional musician and producer first. So I tour, I do shows all around the world, and at this time, I finally got to where my career was as an independent musician was profitable. I had just got off 3 tours in a row, and so I just went. Everything was good. Everything was good, and then COVID hit, and tours, shows were zero. I just got invited for the first time to perform in Coachella, shut down. Everything shut down. All these sponsors I had shut down. And to be 100% authentic, being a C or D list independent artist, finally getting your break, all those little small things, man, they count. And when it was just wiped, it got a little scary for a little bit. And so what made me transition into that is a friend of mine just kept poking at me. He was like, "You should do your performances on Twitch." And I'm like, "Performances on Twitch?" Because this is how it all kind of came into fruition. And he
Yeah,
just kept telling me, like, he was just bugging, like, "Do it before somebody else does it." And I'm like, "Man, I don't know, man. Like, it's not the same." And he was like,
virtual tour.
yeah, he's like, "You better get on it, before somebody else does." And I'll never forget it because I was sitting in another room at my house contemplating the next move, and somebody tweeted. It was one of the artists. It might have been Ice Cube, but I don't think it was. Somebody tweeted that they're gonna start live performing on Twitch, and that's when the light bulb went off. I was, "Oh, everybody's gonna start doing this. I better
Mm.
listen to my partner, right?" So I started live performing and brought my fans over to Twitch when I was streaming there at the time. It worked, but something was missing, and I don't know how to explain it. Just something was missing. My fans didn't necessarily flock over there. So I kind of just said, you know what? On the tour I went on before, my partner Xavier and we used to go to retro gaming stores at every stop. And we went to this one stop on tour in DeKalb, Illinois, this small town. And the performance venue was down the block, and across the street they had this cool like card shop, collectible shop. And we went in there and we started buying consoles. And so he and I started buying consoles every tour stop. It just became like a
The
thing to
thing.
do. Yeah. And so I was like, I'm gonna start playing games. So I started playing games, and the rest is kind of history. I've been streaming now for 6 years. I went on Twitch for 5, and I just recently switched over to Kick last October. But that's kind of how it happened. Just a friend put that bug in my ear because of COVID. Hey, can't perform as much. I still do music and do all that full time, but the climate completely changed after that. It was never the same. So what I did is I mixed the flavor up. Sometimes I wouldn't even tell anybody that I rap, that because my rap name is totally different from my retro name,
Mhm.
completely different. So I was like, I'm just gonna play games. So we just started playing games, and then people found out on their own that I did music by just people doing what they do. You know what I mean? Researching or looking up, Google, whatever. And people started asking me, "Oh, you rap? Oh, I seen this. Oh, I seen that." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I rap a little bit, just playing it off." And it actually was like the greatest thing that could ever happen to me because it saved my career for one. Because all the folks that I was used to seeing all the time who didn't really get down with games, didn't care about a Twitch or a Kick or a YouTube or none of that. I made all these new friends and built a whole new fan base online who love retro gaming. I love retro gaming. I just didn't have
Hmm.
the time. So
Yeah.
I made the time, made all these new friends and new people, and now
Blow up from there.
that's what it is now. Yeah.
Look, because one thing I like to kind of discuss with folks is the simple fact that retro is going to always be and forever that standpoint, that stamp of approval that is bringing nostalgia to us, old heads who grew up to these great classics, man.
Yeah, I agree.
And the simple fact that GameStop had the nerve to say the PS and the Xbox 360 are now part of retro
That's
is
weird to me.
crazy.
Yeah.
How can y'all have that audacity to have an opinion like that? Like that's the biggest L take I ever heard in my life
Yep.
when it comes down to a conglomerate company like GameStop to say. What do you like? What's your insights about that?
And I know this is a hot topic for anybody, no matter what gen they're in. So this is gonna be touchy, but my perspective is I don't consider Wii, Xbox 360. I don't think none of that's retro, but that's just because we're in our era, right? We understand our era of retro is 89 to 2003, maybe.
Yeah,
Let's that would probably be the edge right around there, 2003, 2004. Anything up towards that is kinda to me, I still call it modern, and people get mad like, "Oh, that's not modern, it's already 20 years," and not showing my age or nothing. Even though that's true, I'm just like, it just doesn't it don't click for
right.
me. I
Yeah.
got 360 and stuff, and I still call it modern gaming.
Yeah. Cause I mean, it's still considered modern. Cause for
Yeah.
one, it's not as how can you put it? I kind of look at everything that has the cartridge.
Yeah, yeah.
Even like CD based games like your GameCube, your Dreamcast, and all that. I look at that as retro only because you cannot get that anymore.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
I feel like that's what you can consider retro is stuff that you know you can't get anymore
absolutely, that's a good
far
point.
as like the 360. I know they stopped making them, but at the same time, it don't have a longevity lifespan to even be considered retro yet. It's coming close to it, but it's
Absolutely.
not there yet. So GameStop, stop making false allegations.
They're just trying to drive up sales because they can you can get a stack of Xbox 360 games and a 360 at a yard sale anywhere.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
they're everywhere, but it's hard to find a Nintendo or a Super Nintendo or a Sega Genesis or any of the latter laying around, and if you do, it's either somebody's gonna have a crazy price hike on it, or
Mm,
might as well give it away, or it's broken, or
yeah.
something. There's always a happy medium.
Well, going towards retro, right? But kind
Yeah.
of bringing it a little towards modern. What are your takes on the movie adaptations that they're doing with gaming right now? Are you happy with it, or are you like,
It's a 50-50 because I'm not a huge fan of like the real life character kinda half animation, half real life characterization. I mean, let's take a I'm gonna use this as a caveat, taking it way back. So, like, when Super Mario Bros. The movie came out, I was confused, I enjoyed it, I laughed, and I didn't understand all in the same all in the
yeah,
same sit down, and that's kind of what it is now, except there's certain things I like the Mario movie was cool. I haven't seen the new one, but the old
mhm,
one, I wanna go to see the new one probably within the next week or so, but the, other Mario was cool. I wasn't a big fan. I love Sonic, but I wasn't a big fan of the Sonic movies. People are probably gonna slay me for that, but
what? Why? Can you give a reason?
yeah, just because it's not animation. Like, I'm used to the what is it? UPN, I think is what I first saw it on, Sonic the Hedgehog with, Jay White, who played the
Yeah,
voiceover for him, for those who don't know, from Family Matters.
Urkel.
That's Urkel, thank you, yeah, Urkel. that's where I'm at. So I'm thinking when I see Sonic, I'm not thinking Sonic the real life animation slash
Yeah,
character.
see,
It's hard for me to
people
get behind that.
sleep on the animated version of Sonic.
I agree.
That was
Yeah.
peak at its time. That Mortal Kombat
Yeah. Street Fighter's a good
and
one too.
yeah, Street Fighter was a good one. And it was another one that it kind of like I didn't even expect it. But I think it was I can't think of it. It might come back to me, but you had these animated bangers, man, from back then, and it's still good now. Like I think I have a Vizio TV, right? And they have this predominantly channel where you can watch all the retro cartoons and stuff in that age. So I might end up catching an episode of the retro Sonic, animated show and stuff of that nature. And it just brings tears to my eyes, man, because it's like, oh man, now I'm old and I can't really enjoy these things like I did as a kid, man. Because growing up watching those shows, man, you didn't have no type of responsibility,
Nope.
anything.
Nope.
You might have to go to bed early for school the next day, but you still stayed up.
Homework and snacks.
Yeah, homework and snacks. That's all you had to worry about. But now as an adult, you watching these things like, man, I didn't give it credit as much as I should have as a child that I am now. But do you kind of feel that age has something to
I
do
do.
with that?
I do. It's just one of those stuck in my ways, it's just a perspective. Like, it's just like the old argument with music, right? Where they'll say, well, you're old head, you're unk now, those kinds of terms that they'll put on you. And it's not that. It's just some of the things I like what I like. You know what I mean? Like, and what I don't know, hate. I'm never gonna down it, but it's just a lot of that stuff just isn't my cup of tea, which is hard because a lot of my friends, oh, you gotta watch the Sonic movie, and I'm like, I'm not there, man. I think I'm gonna have to pass on that. The Mario one was the only one where I'm glad I did go take a chance on it because it was really good. The first one was really good. I'm hoping the new one is as good.
Oh yeah, definitely. The new one has a lot of Easter eggs that if you was a Mario fan, you're gonna love it.
That's what I've been told. They're like, you gotta go see it. So
Yeah.
it's on my checklist.
But don't get me wrong, even though I totally understand what you mean by the realistic mixing in with animation, if my thing is they should have did the Sonic movies just like how they did the Mario movies. With
Yep.
people like if you're gonna
Yes.
have people talking to Sonic, it needs to be like the people in New York of Mario,
I
you
agree.
know?
Yeah.
But I still feel you should give it a chance though. Because it's not as bad as you might think it is. It's very funny. Like it has a lot of comedic
I'm gonna have to do that.
standpoints and stuff.
I'm gonna
At
have to
least
do it.
watch the first one.
I'm gonna have to do that because there's what
Yeah.
3 now? Is it
Yeah,
the
it's
3?
3. We're going
Yeah.
on 4 now.
Yeah, I'm way behind for
So,
sure.
but you got a whole lot of time to binge, my brother. Like,
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm with you on that. I gotta do it. I gotta
well,
do it.
man, look. Tell me a little something, man. How has it been for you when it come down to your journey of being a content creator, as far as retro?
It's different. So, like, for instance, here's a good way to kick it off. Because on the music side of things, I'm the elephant in the room, right? So I'm used to a certain type of energy that I've already created over the last decade. Retro, I'm the rookie. Like I literally, and
Mm,
I like it though. I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful because I think the old me when I was coming up as a musician, I don't think I would appreciate it. I think I would. I still had that real big ego problem. Like shout out to all the rappers out there, musicians out there. I don't care what you say. We all got one somewhere. Whether you tuck it, whether you shaved it off and matured it, or it's still wild. It's there for sure.
yeah.
I don't have that anymore. I'm like grateful to be nobody's Mr. Nobody because that's the building block. So I'm enjoying it. So for instance, like my Instagram, I just made the Instagram this month. Like it's not even three weeks in, and
Mm,
I'm learning how much harder it was. Cause truth be told, I never had a retro Instagram, but
mm,
I had my music Instagram. Now, some things happened in my personal life where I kind of wanted to cut back a little bit, so I deleted my Instagram. At the time of deletion on my music page, I had 30,000 followers. So I had a huge audience.
mhm.
And then come back to ground zero And then it's a new game. Everything is very different now. I'm not frustrated. I'm happy about it. And it's cool because again, it's just like I was telling you when COVID hit, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, old dog, new tricks per se, because I've been doing this, but it's a lot more fun. And I've met like yourself. I've met yourself, Retro J. I've met, there's another cat. I can't think of his name. He followed me because of you. He's a huge content creator. He makes funny videos. He cracks me up, man.
Oh, you
He
talking about Gamer Reaper?
no, what's here? I have my Instagram up on one of my pages right now. I can't think
Oh,
of
you talking about
I'll know the name as soon as you say it. It's
not Dusty Brushes?
no, no, no. He's funny though. Like I can't think of the name, but well, I'll find it. But to shorten it up, I'm rambling. My bad.
Oh no, no, you good.
It's a different ball game. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying being the new kid on the block. It's actually kind of refreshing to me. But I'm also getting to see other gamers' perspectives and, like people such as yourself, other people around the umbrella, whether it's gaming, retro gaming, and then competitive gaming, which is something that is entirely new. I knew people that did music. I knew people that produced, so at least I could watch with my eyes and learn, but I didn't know anybody who professionally gamed. Getting into streaming on Kick, that's how I met. Now this is like it's all goes together. That's how I met all these previous Nintendo champions, and I
Mhm.
became friends with these guys from
Mm,
1994 Power Fest champion to the first runner-up 1990 of the first Nintendo World champion.
mm,
Made these, friends within the community. That's what got me to, you know what, I want to try that. And those guys encouraging me and training me and giving me tips on what I need to do. That's what got me to the Game On Expo, to the Retro Championship, and got me placed. So with all that being said, going all the way back to it, one thing I'll say is retro gaming is for everyone. And that's something I could say from the music standpoint is different because not everybody gets accepted in music. I won't go on a rant on why or where that is. If you know, you know. It's not very accepting. It's very different. Retro, it's very accepting. If you love this game or this niche or this system or console or era, there's a lot of love there. And I have a really, really good fan base on Twitter, on X. I still call it Twitter, but I have a huge following on there. And I mean, we talk the talk. To me, it's like the last social media, like social. I feel everything else is more interest media. Like, oh, I like that. Let me drop a comment or
mhm.
something on that. But on Twitter, oh no, it's
It's a
it's
different
def
ball game.
it's different ball game, but it's definitely for gentlemen like us that are on the know-how and of age per se. Cause it's everything. I mean, we share video games, cartridges. Hey, be careful. This game's not good. Movie reviews, all that stuff. VHS tapes, cassettes, all that. To round it all off, though, it's just it's very cool being the new guy, being brand new, being where I'm at in life, but being brand new into this game. I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it. It's brought life into me in a sense. And the reason why I got into it, also, just the last thing I'll put on this, the reason why I got really die hard with the game is when my mother passed away 3 years ago from
Oh, man,
cancer.
condolences.
Music and gaming were the two things that bonded us throughout all life, through the streets, through addiction, through all the things that my mom battled and I battled in the streets, doing things that I shouldn't have been doing, growing up the way we grew up. That was how we bonded. That was our communication. Cassette tapes and CDs and video games and television. So that's how I turned it into a full-fledged business. When she passed, I went, okay, this is not my second win because music does its thing, but I've been doing music since I was 8 years old. I'm not gonna say my age, but I'm up there. I've been doing it a long time. But gaming, it just brings back that passion that maybe got diminished a little bit through everything that I've been through with the music game. So that's kinda how I can put it all in a nutshell. I know that's
See,
a
see,
lot.
no, 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 no. It's not because a lot of people got to understand, man, and this is kind of what I was about to get ready to touch on is that retro gaming, besides it being a great era of games, it also represents so much more as far as memories that you share with special loved ones.
Agreed.
Because like a lot of people don't really fully grasp the standpoint of we lost a lot of people that matters to us during those thousands, like the
Yeah,
early
for
2000 stage. So, like for example, my uncle, I had an uncle named Antonio. Me and him didn't see eye to eye, because he was more of a street dude. You know, he didn't really too much like being around family and in that nature. But whenever
Sure.
we did connect, it was always through gaming, right? Because he
100%.
offside, he loved video games. So me and him first started playing. I think it was God of War. And I kid you not, God of War was the first game me and my uncle bonded on.
Yeah.
And I made a vow to myself that I was gonna play every God of War game for my uncle, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, now it's to the point where fingers crossed, I might end up interviewing these folks who made this game. So it's like showing you that nothing is impossible, but also understand that these retro titles hold dear significant values to our heart because of like loved ones that passed. Like my dad, he loves Sonic, and
Yeah.
playing Sonic 1 with him as a kid, like little kid, man, was everything and more. So now that he's gone, I remember those great times with him when he bought me the Sonic generation, well, not generation, but the collection that was on PS2 and stuff in that nature, man. It just brings back so many memories when it comes down to the loved ones that we lost. So I definitely love retro for that reason.
Yeah, so we definitely connect on that 100%, 100%. I'm sure a lot of people out there, bonding, definitely bonding through video games is a for sure thing.
And see, and that's kind of a reason why I wanted to make a gaming retro podcast because of bringing back nostalgia, bringing back memories that we all love. Because times are hard, bro.
Yes, they
And
are.
it's not even money wise. It's just times are hard because we're going through so much changes in this world that we living in, man. And it's becoming something out of the norm. And the closest thing we have to time travel is these retro games, retro movies, retro TV shows, and stuff of that nature, man. So it holds a I hold it dear to my heart, and I love it cold bloodedly because it's to the point where this is the closest I can get to being a child again, or having child memories where I got to do this as a kid and I enjoyed this game, or the case may be, man. But with you, can you kind of like dabble in your, well, how can I say it? Because you said you started your gaming journey, well, gaming streaming
Yeah.
journey during COVID. How was that from then and now? Like, what was the transition?
Oh man, much different. And how I could say that is, I just kind of was doing a little bit of everything. So I was performing, trying to see, all right, should I stick with just only doing music on stream? And it was kind of a mixed bag. And then I'm like, I just want to play some games. Like, let me just utilize what this platform was originally intended for. Let me just go all out. I would say in the beginning, I was little more emulation because I didn't have all the stuff that I have like spent my time having now. Now it's all original hardware. I play on a Commodore 1702 video
Mm,
monitor. Here, I'll pan just a second with the camera so you can see, but everything I have is mostly all original hardware. Got the arcade
wow.
cabinets. Let me turn here. So there's the TV right
Yo,
there. So,
you
yeah.
took it back. Oh,
Yeah, so I would say the difference is original hardware competitively. Like I love to complete games now. Before I would kind of casually try to fill it out like, okay, am I still good at this game? Do I still enjoy this game? Now I challenge myself. So I would say challenging competitively, playing on genuine hardware, also providing more value to other people that come over or other people I come across, and sharing that nostalgic love for the game basically with them and kind of thing. But I would honestly say the climate is also different. I don't know if you stream or not. If you do, I'll have to touch base and come check you out. But Kick is different. So I know there's not a lot of folks that stream there. It's very different.
so gaming wise, I don't. I haven't dabbled in that yet, gaming
Okay.
wise. But the podcast is live on there, you know.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, that's a whole different monster, man.
Yeah, it's different.
And
It's
it
very
seems like
different.
nobody's watching you over there, but they are in a weird sense of
Like a
urgency.
it's like a bunch of ninjas watching you, like, like Shinobi Ninja Gaiden's kicking it. They might not say a word until
Yes.
random. You might be playing a game and you're just like all into it. Especially when I first started, it was just silent. And then somebody would randomly pop up. I'm like, there was nobody here, or I was thinking there's nobody here. Oh, that was great. You did great on this. And I'm like, versus Twitch, man, people will just roll through all the time. Like different kinds of folks will come by and hang out and converse. I will say this though, and I mean this in the most sincere, cool way, is prior to me going to Kick to retro stream, there really was not a scene. I'm not saying I made it because I did not. It was there long before me, but I brought my whole community. When I mean my whole community, my little tight knit group that literally only made profiles to come over there and hang out with me,
Mm,
and that's how I met 2 or 3 other, like I said, those OG Nintendo, World Champion guys, and now they're part of the community. So when they come over, you have a 1994 Power Fest champion, a 1990 runner-up champion, 1992 Campus Challenge champion, and then you got Sonic champions now, like Sega all these people from all over different spaces who would have never found each other. I ended up
mhm,
kinda being the accidental hub by what happened
mhm.
to me on the Purple app, which was a blessing in disguise. It was the most devastating thing in the world at the time because I got
Yeah.
banned. I'll be truthful. I got banned for airing nostalgic cartoons.
Oh, they hit
Yeah,
you with a
DMCA
strike.
claim. Yeah. So I
They
used
Nintendo'd you.
yeah, pretty much. So what I had on there is I make these mixtapes. I make these mixtapes and I put commercials. I do so much stuff, but I make commercials for all my people. So like if you're a sub to the channel or we've been rocking with each other, I say, "Hey, send me a 15-second MP4 formatted video, I'm gonna plug you in." And basically, I'll have like some Flintstones and Jetsons going, and then your commercial comes on for your podcast, and a BK Kids Meal commercial, and then Ninja Turtles. I create all this
Oh,
content. Yeah, I create all this content, and we had the show called Lurk and Work Wednesdays, and we would be on the Always On channel. I'd leave it on for hours. I did Christmas specials, Thanksgiving
mm,
specials, all that kind of stuff. Well, we had a little disagreement with another streamer who was trying to troll. We
yeah.
became a real big hater because I used to do these streamer awards.
Mhm,
And he basically tried to come through and kind of like side gate the whole crew and bring all his people like, hey, vote for me. When it's like, nah, there's rules, buddy. Like
yeah.
there's a whole conglomerate group that have been here for years that, they earned their spot. You're just new here. Like you can participate, but you can't just bombard the crew. Well, anyways, we got spam bot reported. And we ended up getting
Mm,
3 strikes throughout, like boom, 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 we out of here. So
wow.
so I was devastated and we went to Kick. Now, mind you, I started at ground zero. I thought it was a wrap because I was making some decent money, and I'm perfectly transparent, like wrong or right. I'm always gonna be honest. I was making good bread over there, and then with the music and everything, so we were good. So when that happened, I was like, oh man, we gotta do this again. Like, I was frustrated. I'll never forget it because I ended up walking out. Like I walked out of my house because the stream, a little thing comes up and it kicks you off, logs you out. And I've had warnings before for streaming like commercials, and it was nothing like I never said nothing crazy, never threatened nobody, never no malicious activity whatsoever. It was just I was playing old school commercials and cartoons, and even with the blanket license. For those who don't know, I paid for a blanket license for a lot of this stuff because a lot of people are like, oh, you can't play that because it's copyrighted. Yes, I know that. I paid for a blanket license, but some of it didn't pan out, which is cool, whatever. So fast forward, went to Kick, no man's land, crickets, tumbleweeds, like zero. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I thought it was a wrap, and I don't know what it is. I just said, you know what? Like you were saying about your family members, about your pops and playing say Sonic, and then with your cousin and God of War. I just thought about my mom. I'm like, my mom would never tell me give up. I gotta keep going. So I started from
Yeah.
zero all over again. And man, now I'm blessed. We have a whole different community. And again, I say this with all grace, no braggadocio, no ego, just being honest. If we're not number one when we stream every time, we're in the top 3 every time in the retro
Mm,
community. And we bring other communities together. So it's like somebody will come through. Oh, I like this game. Oh, you like this game, blah, blah, blah. And then they start following each other. Oh, you do this, you do that. And then follow each other, and then it just it's like a real community. It's not all
Yeah.
about back in the game retro. It's about the retro community. So there's always value to be brought, with the champions teaching me how to become a champion. I'm a champion now, how to
Hmm.
become one, everybody feeding each other, it's a community, and
Yes.
that's what it's
Yes.
all about.
That and see, and I love the fact that you brought that up because that's what I'm all about when it comes down to this podcast journey of mine. It's all about everyone who's either coming on the show or come across me far as in a tweet or in a thread or just comment on the Instagram reels and anything of that nature. You're more than just a content creator, or you're more than just a viewer, your family at this point. Because it's like in this journey of ours, we want to build authentic following, far as you loving what I do and I'm supporting you, even though you in a whole different aspect of topics and genres and stuff of that nature. I'm still going to support you because at the end of the day you
Likewise.
supporting me.
Yeah,
So,
likewise.
so it's just a simple fact, man. It's always a wonderful feeling when you meet generic people, bro, because it makes it seem like everything you're doing ain't for nothing. Like you have a reason for doing something.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, like I was appreciative because, like I said, I'm Mr. Nobody's Nobody, starting over here. And when you're like, hey, we're always looking for guests, I was like, I'm there. You know what I mean? Like I would love to be on your show, no matter what. Like let's figure it out. You know what I mean? And the same thing, like I was saying about community, and we'll talk off pod for a few, but I'm always about value. So I'm gonna do my best to give back the same, whether it's hooking you up and linking you up with another person of interest who loves retro, just like because I mean, I know a lot of people within the community that would love to have their own conversations about retro, and in return, that's hopefully bringing you some value to your show, you know what I mean, and vice versa. So I'll definitely, pay it forward for sure. It's all about that
Man, I greatly
community.
appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
But with that, I want to talk to you a little more about retro movies.
Okay, let's go.
So, what was some of your favorite retro movies growing up, far as comedy, holidays and stuff in that nature?
Holidays it might sound a little generic, but it's still my favorite. Is Home Alone 1 and 2 gotta be in rotation for holidays. Charlie Brown Christmas, Charlie Brown Thanksgiving gotta be in rotation. And I have all these VHS right here. So I watch them all the time. For regular rotation, Black Sheep gotta be one.
Mm-mm.
Beverly Hills Ninja. I love Chris Farley movies, man. Rest in peace.
Man,
Funny guy.
look, funny.
Yeah,
And he
hilarious.
the crazy part is he don't get his record, like
No,
his flowers, bro.
no, not at all.
And I mean he do far as the OG, like your what's those
Like the stand up
yeah, the
guys.
stand-up guys. He get his flowers to those, but just as fans. I haven't
You're
heard a
right.
lot of people say Chris Farley is that dude, until you actually just watch a movie of his and be like, or somebody throw a little clip or something with him in it. And then he should get millions of views and millions of comments under his stuff.
A lot of folks don't know that he was like the one of the only Caucasian dudes on a primarily black cinema, minority
Yes.
based television in Living Color, Saturday Night Live, with all those legends when there wasn't a lot of Caucasian dudes doing it. It was the same thing with Hispanics. I'm Latino, so same thing with Hispanics. Like those were the breakthroughs. So, guys like us, when we see people that look like us or that look like people that are around us, we identify with it. And I feel like Chris Farley was one of them guys that, like you said, doesn't get his credit, but he's just funny, just being himself, man. So definitely those movies. I would also say going back a little towards Disney is the Mighty Ducks because I always felt like that was a calm hood movie. Like
Yeah.
people don't like I that's where I'm from. So I mean, it's a cool hood movie, like
Yeah. I totally agree with you
family
on that.
family friendly hood movie. Emilio
Yeah.
Estevez took the Bad News Bears in hockey and turned them into
The
all
Disney
stars.
the Disney boys in the hood.
Pretty much, yeah, yeah. And speaking of that, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, Blood In, Blood Out, American Me, all them gangster movies. Now I gotta put respect on one of my all-time favorite hustlers in music, but also in film. Now this is a cult classic to me. Is I Got the Hookup, Master P. When that came out, because my homies put me on to No Limit back in the day. They had the
Yeah.
greatest. For those who don't know, they had the greatest marketing plan at the time. They had the color coded discs. You could go into a record store and you knew you were getting a No Limit album by the orange and the blue and the green and the color coordinated.
Hmm.
Just, whoa, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, what's
Yeah.
that?
The army tanks.
Yeah, the No Limit Soldiers, man. Like, I still have all my albums. I'm a
Well,
super
see,
tape head.
see, see, the crazy part is with that whole situation, and I'm kind of glad you brought that up because of the simple fact that P traveled from New Orleans to, California. And when he bought that record station, not record station, but that record store, and he was selling his CDs and stuff out of there, he got a lot of hate
Well, yeah,
from what crew was that? I think it was I can't remember
man.
the name.
A lot of people
But
hated on him.
yeah, yeah, but that side, stuff
Yeah.
that you know about, they wasn't tolerating that.
Nope,
Somebody
not at
from the
all.
South coming over there and trying to take their business, you got to come out your pockets and collect. But P he was a strategist when it came down. Like that man is very smart when it comes down to making a dollar. So it's just to the point where it's like watching him travel from his hometown to go to California to make his record labels and stuff of that nature, getting Snoop to come
Yeah.
to No Limit
Saving Snoop.
itself was crazy. Yes, yes. So it's just we kind of came up around some good times, and,
Yes,
and
we
and that's
did.
definitely No Limit needs to get a lot of flowers.
Some cultured times for sure, for sure, for sure. Now that's like I said, I Got the Hookup. West Coast Bad Boys was another. They were like hood movies. Like if you know, they're hood movies. Like where I come from, we call it the Fromate, so it's like the Mexican version of the swap meet, and that's like where I would it's dipping off into music a little bit, but that's where I met like members of NWA and Too Short because they would sell their stuff out the trunk inside the swap meet like a true hustler, like the Born to Mac cassette tape. I saw firsthand right there in the swap meet selling, Ice Cube, Bench Mob in the swap meet. So these were things early on. That's why a lot of folks is crazy. I'm like the only half Mexican dude with the NWA tattoo. But it's one of those things like that's where I'm from. Like where I lived, it's black, brown, and a little bit of white and a little bit of Asian. It's just like a melting pot of gumbo. That's what everybody say, gumbo, because it was just everything was everything right where we grew up. So
Mm-hmm.
video games, music, VHS tapes, and bootlegs. Bootleg Tupac tapes for days after he passed away. The Machiavelli 25, like
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I would have to say another movie that I could throw in the mix. I think I got the hookup of probably throw some people off like, oh shoot, like he knows about that. Like, yeah, the soundtrack too. Oh, man, soundtrack had Bone Thugs, had my favorite Jay-Z song on there. People don't even know about it. I'm What the Game Made Me. Not what, yeah, it's such a that you got if you guys haven't heard it, you guys gotta check that out. I Got the Hookup soundtrack was legendary. Bone Thugs, man, all that stuff. I'm trying to think of one more I could throw out there that might
The
be another
Wiz,
gem. Yeah, The Wiz, of course. With
not
what's the kid
the
from
Wash. My bad. The Wiz definitely though, but I'm saying the Wash, the Death Row Car Wash, with
well,
Dr.
the what?
Dre and
Yeah,
yeah,
Eminem. Yes.
classic.
Yeah, no, definitely a classic. Trying to think, what would be one of your, let me flip it really quick. What would be, if you could call it, what would be one of your cult classics? Not one, maybe two.
I say two movies that I know for a fact that I love, bro. The Goonies and The Christmas Store. My go-to movies when it come down to just want to just like I think I had a ritual, bro, where I watched The Christmas Story every Christmas.
Let's go.
Goonies, I watched the Goonies whenever I felt like watching, a classic or anything. But if I had to choose another one, I would say The Sandlot. And The Sandlot meant so much to me more because I remember that watching that as a infant, like 2 years old and stuff. Like I can't remember a lot of stuff when I was a baby, but I remember that. You know what I'm saying? But going forward, man, it's just a lot of hitters, bro. Like, a lot of people might not too much know about this movie because it's kind of like a low budget movie from this rap group. But 3 6 Mafia Choices, like,
Yep, yep,
love it,
yep.
love it.
I forgot about that one.
It's super corny, but it's fun.
There's a couple of those in every stack though. Like
Yeah,
everybody made their C-list movie back then.
that like what's that? State Property, right?
Yep,
You
yep.
got your State Property, but State Property 2, wish that never happened.
Yeah, same with like when they did Belly too, when the game did the second one. I'm like,
Worst movie
nah.
ever.
I was like, that's terrible. Like, why'd you do that?
Yes, and the crazy part is they made Game the same character from the first one, but he's totally different looking and like really? Y'all really think we was gonna be fooled by that? Like, come on. That was the worst decision ever, Dame. Don't ever do that again. But
Yeah, no, I never understood that either. I ain't gonna lie, I have it. I have the DVD, but it's not rewatchable
no, man, not at all, man. But like you mentioned, you got your bellies, bro. Belly is one of them type of movies that you'll watch like back to back. Like I love the fact that you saw DMX, right, in so many of his different personalities in that movie,
for sure.
right? Because you know DMX as a rapper, you know he's kind of schizophrenic
Yeah,
and stuff in that nature. So by you getting to see him in these like in this movie, he himself it was dope, man. I loved it, even from watching the movie with Nas in it. And
yep.
that's rare by itself. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to see a lot of movie with Nas in it. You know, I think Belly was the only movie that he did, right?
I
If I'm
think
not
so
mistaken.
too, unless he cameoed and paid in full. He might, but I mean,
I think so.
as far as having a star role, I think you're right. I don't think he came out in anything else.
But just seeing these classic OG movies, man, it's sometimes, and I don't know, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for everybody else. But sometimes I fall into a state of depression when it comes down to modern stuff, right? I get to the point where I'm like, I ain't got time to be watching or listening to new music and watching new movies. Let me just pop a tape in and watch my OG classics. Or let me use Apple Music to listen to my OG music, like the Tupac, the Biggies, and
But
the
yeah,
Cypher Hills, and go back to my OG era days. Do you ever feel like that sometimes?
I do feel like that sometimes. It just kind of depends because I feel like there's a lot of movies like they really don't touch on certain subjects like they used to where it's relatable for me anyway. But I even feel like even like the culture currently, I feel like there's a lot more fear out there to touch on certain subjects versus the 80s and 90s. If there was, no matter what the topic was, it was free game. Like they were gonna talk about it. Whether it was drugs, guns, sex, gangs, streets, whatever it was, nothing was off limits. And now I feel like things are on eggshells. Like, can't say this, and I don't want to say that. So I don't want
We
to,
live in a sensitive society.
you know? Yeah,
But look, man, I'm so grateful for you appearing on the show, man. We definitely gotta touch bases on collaborating again like this because
100%.
it's definitely needed, man, in the community. But hey, anything like are you doing something or got something going on where you want everybody to know about? And can you also let everybody know where they can find you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can find me at Back in the Game Retro on all social media platforms. Also on Kick and YouTube, Back in the Game Retro. Follow us, come hang out with us, come game, come talk nostalgia anytime, anytime.
Okay, okay. Look, thank you so much, everybody, for watching this episode of the Retro Pioneers podcast. We had a blast talking about retro games, something that we all love and adore. And catch us next time on the next episode of Retro Pioneer, where we're going to be talking about other things from movies, comics, and everything in that nature. And we love y'all. We appreciate all the support that y'all give us. And definitely go make sure y'all go follow this man of honor right here and make
Appreciate
sure
you.
y'all support him in everything he does and just show some love. And we'll see y'all next time on the Retro Pioneer podcast. Peace.
Peace.